Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1013. Let's see, Stalemate. To be honest, I've already done the review of this chapter before the other day, but it was late. I was getting tired, didn't get really much sleep, and frankly, I was yawning and stuttering a bit. And frankly, there's a few things I missed out, so I wasn't exactly happy with the review I did. So I'm doing this review again, pretty much just so that I have a more coherent and better review, if you will, of like the One Piece series. Hopefully, this time I'll be a lot more better at saying what I wanted to. Give my thoughts out for this review, and hopefully I'll be a lot more better in terms of trying to be better in terms of trying to make my thoughts clear on this review. Now that it's not as late, I can probably speak a bit louder and give my thoughts overall better. But yeah, this chapter follows up from the last time when you've got Nesjiro taking out the five elders, with the five elders taking out all the Paphistas. Frankie and Bonnie take down a few vice admirals. Let's see, Marcus Mars and York try to find Vegapunk some transponder snail. Stussy is leaving herself behind to sacrifice, behind to help the Straw Hats get away. And it looks like Edison is also sacrificing himself to escape. Luffy continues his fight against some of the five elders, damaging Jupiter or St. Peter, but seemingly not damaging top man Walker with his attack, as well as you've got Saint Saturn about to encounter Nami's group of Straw Hats, while Nesjiro is about to confront Brawny's group, and Marcus Mars apparently seeing the found Vegapunk's punk hazards, or at least the transponder snare, if you will, with like 1 minute left to spare before Vegapunk's message gets to throughout the world. That's what happened last time, and now that I've got that out of the way, I can then properly begin the discussion for the next chapter. So before I do that, I'm just going to talk about the double-colored page spread, in which you have Robin playing chess with her crew being the Straw Hat pieces, Luffy and Gear 5 being the king, Nami being the queen, Frankie and Jinbei being castles, I guess being the defense of the crew, Brock and Usopp being the sort of bishops because of the long-range attacks and speed, if you will, and Sor and Sanji are the knights, being the wings of the Pirate King and the ones that go on the offense, if you will. And Chopper, we see 7 pieces of him in different night-colored armors being pawned. We only see, unfortunately, 7 and not fully 8. But we've got the blue one, a pink one with him holding a beer mug, a purple one with the blue one and the purple one holding a sword, a yellow one holding a lance or spear, if you will, a red one with sort of like a mohawk back with a sword, green with green regular, and a black one with a sword. Most of them have swords except for 2 of them, but yeah, you got Sanji on a white horse, being the white knight, so on the black horse, but yeah. Now, granted, I think there's some people that got excited with the shipping bit with Nami because it's she's the queen, Luffy's the king, king and queen. Now, granted, that could just be more symbolizing that she's the sort of queen of the Straw Hats, not rather just Luffy's romantic partner. But who knows? You're going to probably get some people viewing that way. But I do like this double page spread. I do love how Robin, being the smartest member of the crew, is the chess piece player. If you will, and she's trying to help navigate her Straw Hat, the Straw Hats, if you will, or at least strategize with the Straw Hats. But this is a pretty good double-colored panel spread. I can definitely see certain fans wanting this to become an actual chess set with One Piece merchandising. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I would probably buy it, to be fair. But also I kind of like it also kind of reminds me of like back when Naruto was at its peak, you had like a chess set with like Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, Gaara, Shikamaru, and Sasuke. I believe that's all the pieces. I remember Naruto and Sakura being a king and queen, which got us now Sakura fans pretty excited. But yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure if they still sell those chess pieces or if they do or not. But yeah, either way, if they sold them in separately or all together, I'm not really sure. But either way, it was like kind of fun. It was kind of cool chess pieces. Whether or not one piece will do the same remains to be seen. But anyway, now that that's been taken care of, onto the review summary of the chapter. We start back off with Punk Records, where it's at the world where we went off last time with Marcus Mars, where he's realizing that he's in like the greatest brain, where he's seeing the greatest brain in the world. Yeah, Vegapunk's message saying that let's see, we're just short on time, and his coffee's not even cool enough to drink yet, and it's checking how much time they have left for the transponder snail, with Stella saying they have 30 seconds to go. Pythagoras talking about how he's going to be nervous because they're about to be, addressing the entire world. With Marcus Mars talking about how this great brain lives on even after your death. And then he's questioning, is this brain the real Vegapunk or not? As he questions what exactly death is and when do ideas truly reside, as we see a double page spread of Vegapunk's brain, and we see it's pretty much in a giant sort of glass sphere thing, sort of like a containment jar. It's not actually we don't actually see his brain, but his entire large head, which is probably what it was before he cut it off, but even larger. We see how large it is because we see the Den Mushi next to Marcus Mars, and it's tiny, and we see him looking above, and he's just as barely as tall as a bunch of stairs leading to it, but then everything else is like giant. It's got all these metal contraptions and wires attached to the brain, and everything, and even in the jar itself, and we just see just how huge it is. As he's just looking on, questioning like whether or not Vegapunk is truly alive or not in that brain. We end up seeing Den Mushi talking about how Video One Day connect the entire world. So let's see. I think this is probably one of the Vegapunks expounding that it will mean like saying it will mean knowing that this just comes to being big and known. So it's like, let's see, just telling Pythagoras that being a part of video and broadcasting, you're going to be known for the world if you like, let's see, stand in front of the public and address them. Which arguably what's happened whenever you try to do a podcast or stream or anything on YouTube, or anything on social media for that matter. But yeah. Anyway, we cut to let's see, Kaya's house, where it says let's see, where someone is asking like, what if it's not at Kaya's house, then no one in the village has one, as we see let's see, Mary talk about how the visual transponder snails are quite large and that taking care of them are likely pets. So it's like, why don't I just put on some tea? With Kaya just going like how Dr. Vegapunk has a huge influence on the world, and this is her first appearance besides the cover stories. Granted, she's a lot more, I guess, formally dressed, I guess, compared to like she's always formally dressed. She's a noble lady, pretty much, but I think she's a bit more casual in this outfit. But let's see, with the Usopp Pirates two crewmates. Hold on, let me just get their names. Did this last time and I haven't learned my lesson. Oh yeah, you've got Ninji, Piman, and Tamagi. I believe you've got let's see, Piman, or the one with the sort of pepper hat, saying that he knows. Let's see, he knows about Vegapunk's influence, but Ninjin, or sometimes maybe referred to as Carrot, depending on like the Viz translation, saying that he does, like it's a yeah right, like you know anything about that, and then you've got Tamaninji, which is probably we've probably referred to Onion, and I assume that's due to the 4Kids translation saying that telling guys to read a book if they don't know anything about who Vegapunk is. And and then we cut to like Chopper, the island where Chopper was training, and where we see the giant bird, one of the giant birds in the background, and some of the villagers talking, particularly adults, and I think the chief talking about how people are talking about the island where apparently Chopper is, with the elder, I think the leader, saying that Vegapunk is the father of modern science, but also many of the advanced weapons that are used for war. Then we cut to like let's see, Foolhead Island or like Blackbeard's home turf. We don't see Blackbeard. We see some of his pirate crew or pirates there arguing, saying, "Would you all pipe?" One of them saying, "Pipe down." I want to hear what Vegapunk's about to say. But another saying, "Stop trying to distract from the fact that you rigged a game against him, trying to pick him to a fight." And then you see like I believe a couple of pirates just partying and drinking, not really caring what Vegapunk says. As you see Vegapunk going like, "Can you all hear me? Egghead, New World, test, 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 if you will." Let's see, and let's see, we see Marcus Mars step on the Dendem Mushi, but it's just revealed to be a regular one as he going on about how he's bet Vegapunk hello, hello, hello. With Marcus Mars just angry that it's just a regular transporter snail, and saying not only does he hide, he fools them with decoys. Cursing Vegapunk's name, he transforms into his giant bird. As you hear Vegapunk going, "Come in," before Shaka says that it's a one-way hijack, Stella. Where Vegapunk then defensively saying, "I know that." And he ends up saying, "Well, in that case, let's get this message started." Now, in my previous review, I sort of attempt to review this. I tried to do the review once, but I feel like that was a mistake, and now I'm going to try and do it piece by piece like I normally do with One Piece. Anyway, I do like how I will admit I do like how Vegapunk is a bit minor, but Vegapunk is still being contemplating about how the coffee's not yet cooled down yet, but he doesn't really have time to worry about that, as in 30 seconds, as Stella points out, he needs to address the world. So that was a bit funny for me. Anyway, I will admit, let's see, we finally get to see Punk Records, and I will admit I'm a bit surprised. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting a giant jar in the brain, but then again, I forget that Oda's quite the more goofy art style thing, and I do think it's more fitting that we see Vegapunk's giant head with its cut off and all that stuff, and it's a lot bigger than I think even than like it was during like when we saw when he had the brain when he was talking with Kuma like about 4 years now? Yeah, 4 years ago. So it's even bigger. So big that Marcus Mars looks tiny, and he's, I think, a bit one of those more bigger humans. And we can see that from like the Dendem Mushi that's next to him and all that because of how big he is. He's as big as like a bunch of stairs that leads up to the Punk Records, or just about the same height. But yeah, I do really like I said, I really like the design, the glass containing it with liquid wires and like all these mechanical parts attached to the brain, arguably to transfer information. And we've got someone called Exotic Potato saying, "Yo, Exotic Potato, I hope you're enjoying what I'm saying so far about the chapter." Or at least I'm glad. Let's see, I hope you enjoy this review so far. But yeah, and what I have to and what I'm saying. If you have any questions, you can type them in, and I will respond if I can. Other than that, I do like how Marcus Mars gets a bit questioning about. Okay, we see your okay, and he's gone now. Unfortunately, that's a bit of a shame, but oh well. I must have babbled on too long. But anyway, that's a shame. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes. I do like how Marcus Mars talks a bit about how let's see, questioning is let's see, even though Vegapunk has been the main stellar body has been killed, is he still like alive because his brain is still active? It's still collecting memories, it's getting ideas, all that. It's like because I think it's like kind of reminds me of how people used to think, oh, once the heart stops, you're dead. But now I think it's more modern times thinking like the brain is still, if the brain's still functioning, you're still technically alive, even if the heart stops beating. I think. I mean, I'm not really. Let's see. I haven't done science and biology in a while, but I do like how the question goes on about how even though Vegapunk is dead, there's still technically the Punk records where he's alive, and pretty much as long as Punk records about Vegapunk is never truly dead, even if he's no longer got his like main stellar body, if you will. Anyway, I do like the sort of design that of the of the Den Den Mushi that are supposed to like give the recording of Vegapunk, but turns out, of course, it's a fake one, which I think everyone expected it was going to be a fake one. It's like Vegapunk had like a step ahead, but I do like how Marcus Mars gets so angry, turns into a bird, and just like goes damn you. But granted, that perhaps the Five Elders they really are underestimating Vegapunk, and they should have probably thought this more thoroughly. I probably should have had some of the others like try and figure out where it is. Granted, I'm seeing theories online because I'm like a chapter behind. Is that some feel like that the giant robot from the Ancient Kingdom might have the Den Den Mushi planted inside him, but I'm going to get more into that kind of theory with the next chapter review. But for now, I'm just like here. I do like how Vegapunk just go like testing, 1, 2, 3, and you get Stella saying Vegapunk, it's a one-sided currency conversation. He's got like, and you get Stella going like, I know that, being a bit defensive, whether or not he actually knows that or no, or either way, it's funny. But yeah. Anyway, it's nice seeing a bit more people interacting, especially like we're seeing Usopp's village with Kai and East Blue and all that. Well, we learned that despite the fact that she is the richest person on the island, even she can't afford like the transponder snails. And it's like follow up more about Woodslap saying from Luffy's village saying that those things are expensive, not to mention Fritzy feeding them. It just goes to show you that even like tiny islands are just probably unable to like have like those video transponder snails. It's only probably going to be like the big kingdoms that can, or like the big kingdoms, like the big cities, if you will, that can like afford this kind of thing. Not like tiny villages or islands, because it's just like these Den Den Mushis are very expensive. At least the video transponder ones are. But yeah. But it's interesting how we get the Marines listing in. Let's see, because one thing's going to be interesting is how the Marines react to everything Vegapunk says. Will they defect from the world government? Will they still remain loyal? Will they be in denial? We do not really know. And we've got, of course, Crocus and Laboon listening in. Laboon has probably no idea what's going on, but I bet Crocus, being a member of Roger's crew, is listening in, and given the fact that they learned about the 14th century, he's probably listening in, curious to see how much Vegapunk is saying that is actually true and what he's guessing not. I'm curious to see how the rest of the Roger pirates, if they're still alive, are going to respond to this. Particularly Rayleigh. I am very curious to see how he ends up revealing all this information. And if he's still with the Kuja tribe, I wonder how much of them are going to ask, hey, Rayleigh, if it's as much as what Vegapunk said is true about the Void Century, and he might go like, oh, I can't tell you, and yeah, it's true and all that, but who knows? It'll be very interesting, because as we know, everyone from Roger Pirates minus Shanks and Buggy learned the truth, as well as Odin's two retainers, Dogstorm and Cat Viper. They didn't learn the truth because they weren't a part of the final voyage of the Roger Pirates, since they had a pit stop at Wano, looking after Tokyo, I believe. So there's that. But we also get well, I seem to have missed out on this. This is the bit I'm really sorry. I missed out on this bit of the summary where we at the future island of Baltimore, Vegapunk's home, where we get one of the kids asking, "Was he born here?" And one of the elders, which I believe it's the elderly grandfather of the boy that befriended Frankie, going like, "Yeah, that's right. He's the pride of Baltimore." With one of them asking, "Oh, is he the one from the Nightmare of Baltimore?" But he corrects him like, "So nope, that was Frankie, and he's a ship now." And he says that it's been decades since he last saw Vegapunk, and he's smiling, clearly having fond memories of Vegapunk. And let's see, but yeah, now I forgot to mention this bit here. That was my fault. Sorry. But I do like how you've got them listening in, and you got kids seemingly not fully aware that Vegapunk was born here, and the others are just like, no, yes, he was, and it's like talking about how he's the pride of this island. So arguably, when they learn that he's dead, that's probably going to be the most shocking of all. Granted, I'm curious to see how the elder is thinking about apparently Frankie's crew kidnapping Vegapunk, but it's interesting to see that he actually believes that the wanted poster of Frankie being a ship is what he currently looks like. And it's like, it's nowhere near the case, but it's just kind of goes to show you just how some people seem to buy it with Frankie. Granted, it wouldn't be surprised if Frankie does eventually have the Thousand Sunny as a giant mecha at some point. I just feel like that is going to happen at some point. But yeah, I am very curious. But it is a little disappointing we haven't seen more of their reactions sooner, because it's like, oh, Vegapunk's on. Oh, the Straw Hat kidnapping. Oh, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Now, granted, I am hoping that we get some reaction to them once they learn the news, let's see that Vegapunk is in fact dead and all that. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how with Chopper's Island, besides talking about concern for Chopper and all that, they talking about, we have one of them talking about how Vegapunk has been, while he's been the pioneer of advancing in modern science and all the benefits of that, he's also being used to produce mass weapons, showing a sort of probably mixed legacy Vegapunk will have in some places. It's like, he's a scientific genius, but he's also made many of these massive weapons of mass destruction, like the Paphistas, and some would probably even regard the Mother Flame, or at least what it's being currently used for right now. Now, I do like how, even though I think some people are going to be disappointed that we didn't see the Blackbeard pirates responding yet, I think it's fine just seeing like the pirate crew, like just the regular pirate grunts listening, as it kind of shows you. Sorry, as I think it kind of just shows you how the regular pirates are responding to this. It's like either those want to listen, those are just more petty and wanting to like fight, and others just want to drink and party. They're not really caring. The grunts aren't going to care. It's going to be probably all like the big pirate captains and officers are going to probably pay attention to this message, because it's like, okay, Vegapunk is saying something and it is really going to be important. We got to find out what it is. But yeah. So anyway, with all that kind of thoughts and views said, and Vegapunk's willing to get this message started, which I do like. It's like, I do like how even though he's like set a certain time, he's like just wants to do the test thing. But once all that's out of the way, it's which kind of gives the elders a bit more time. Unfortunately, they don't have it. They've wasted it poorly. He's finally about to start the message, and we see the first we see a bunch of long arm tribes going like, Etsy, yeah, about time. Let's see, we want to hear what's gonna happen. And we then see like one kid, let's see, in the mountains with I believe his mother and father asking what's going on, with the mother telling him to go back to sleep as a very important man is about to tell him all something. As we see Marcus Mars flying, let's see, one of the elders is asking him why it's not stopping, but with Mars saying he's apologizing as Vegapunk has concerned a robust security system to prevent the transformation from being stopped. So saying that Vegapunk has pretty much taken precautions to make sure that his message will get out, and that he has no idea what he's going to say, since let's see, but they do have an idea with like what York said about how he's carried on Urahara's research. As we see Marine ships continuing to fire a busticle at Egghead Island, as we get like panels of like all the 5 elders just looking up, either angry or shocked or worried or even confused, I guess, from the way that they're expressing, saying that. So he refuses to go out, as Marcus Mars is just saying, so he refuses to go out like Clover did, or at least one of them going like, oh, like Clover, With them asking, does he means to avenge Urahara's losses? We also see the silhouette of when Clover got shot. And then we got a close-up of Vegapunk's dead body with him saying, what is it, Vegapunk? With Sanji just going like, I can hear it. The sound of Bonnie's voice, begging for my help. As Sanji's going like, who's that? As he sees let's see Nezjiro in front of like Bonnie and Frankie. Hold on a sec. With Nezjiro going like how Johnny Bonnie will not have the Navy's might, as he's about to attack him, but Frankie's trying to defend Bonnie. But Sanji goes like, the only one who gets to score points with Bonnie is him, as he jumps to kick Nezjiro's sword and then kick him in the chin, knocking him up, while still carrying Vegapunk. With Sanji then decrying that, do you think the elderly will get special treatment? Saying that this is how pirates fight. But even though Nezjiro's getting his head kicked up in the thing, he transforms into his full-on horse form, not his centaur mode, and then bites Sanji. With a Bonnie crying out Sanji's name, with like Ami and Kashi coming in and trying to hold down the giant, while Vegapunk is saying how he's committed 2 sins. And one of the people is just like going like in the background from like the messages going like he's starting with Omi and Kashi just telling each other to hold down. You get Atlas picking up Stella before he flies to the ground, and then Barney starts transforming into a distorted future. With Marines being shocked like who it is, and before they realize it's Barney, and she's revealed to turn into a giant-like future, and it looks like she's about to step on Nezjiro, as the rest of the giants look on with surprise about Bonnie's transformation. As let's see, Vegapunk goes like, therefore, whether I'm arrested or executed, I shall program this message to be broadcast when my heart stops beating. And this is where we see the people of Shabodi Archipelago going like, what? Wait, you mean Vegapunk is already dead? Realizing what he's just saying in the video message. Then we cut to Duvu saying that this can't be right, since the news in the morning said that he was being held hostage by the Straw Hat crew. And then Caesar's going like, huh? You gotta be kidding, crying and shouting, saying, We're here trying to drag you off your ivory throne, and you, or it's like, depending on the other translations, you can't be dead. We just teamed up to take you down. As you also see, Judge in the background looking annoyed or upset about the news as well. And then you got Mig Muse Morgan's going like, wow, you can't just give away the story to the entire world. How am I going to sell my papers? With Vegapunk saying, however, I want to make one thing very clear first. It's like, whoever may render their judgment onto me, I'm not trying to convince you that their intent is evil. Saying that he will not, apply the labels of good and evil at all. In fact, of this, as he in the next page. But before I get onto that, because that's leading up to the next bit, but I think I should give my thoughts here right now. I do like how the Long Arm tribe seems to be very excited about this. Granted, I don't think Vegapunk has any history with the Long Arm tribe, but I guess they might have benefited from his scientific technology, or at least they know who he is and is famous, and they're like, okay, I'm excited. But it's also interesting to see even people up in the mountains by themselves are listening into the message, even people with families, but granted, the parents are arguably trying to get their kids to be more asleep. They'll be like, a supporting person is talking right now. I'll tell you in the morning or something, which I think is fine, though. Granted, perhaps if they listen, perhaps if they waited a bit more for Vegapunk to explain the rest of his message, they might have let the kids stay up just to hear what he has to say. But yeah, I do like how the five elders are like Mars, what is going on? What's going on? Because let's see, in some ways, I think some are wondering if Mars is going to get very punished by Emu, because it's like he was tasked of finding the snail, but he is unfortunately unable to find it. And I do like how he's able to talk about we've underestimated Vegapunk with his trickery, which granted, Ritzy, ideally more of them probably should have started looking instead of just like having 3 of them try to fight Luffy, but I guess they thought it was more effective, but I guess they really underestimated Vegapunk. But yeah, but I do like how they're going like, I can't really figure out what he's going to say, but if we had to guess from what York describes, he's going to continue the research at the will of Urahara. So in other words, he's planning to probably reveal all that information that Clover was about to reveal before he got shot down, if you will, by by orders of the 5 elders themselves. So it's in some ways poetic justice, where the great archaeologist was unable to say what he wanted to say fully to the end, but Vegapunk, who is now dead, is able to get his message out, and the 5 elders can't do anything about it, and you can see the nervousness on them. But yeah. Anyway, I think the most controversial thing about this chapter, well, I'm not sure how controversial it is, but I think the probably biggest nitpick, I think you could probably see from people, is the way how Sanji is going like, I'll come and protect Bonnie. I'm the only one that gets to score points is me, because given the fact that Bonnie is, technically 12 years old, I guess with the way Sanji normally talks about, women, it's, I don't know, might sound a bit wrong, but granted that this might be just more of like the Viz translations or something, but I don't know, it doesn't really help, but I will say at the very least, it doesn't really matter much, because you get Sanji having this very awesome moment, and arguably probably the best kick he's done throughout the entire arc, of kicking one of the 5 elders in the chin, and arguably the one that many people thought that was going to be Zoro's opponent. So I have now seen that some people starting to consider perhaps Zoro is going to fight Marcus Mars, and Sanji's going to fight Nesjiro for like a variety of different reasons, like normally them being different opponents for like what they normally do, like normally fight, and also I think because Marcus Mars is like the god of war, and Nesjiro's so be some sort of like clever wording of like Venus, the goddess of love. So Sanji's more it's associated to love, so it might be a sort of reverse there. So who knows? It could be like that, but we'll have to wait and see. But I wouldn't be but it would be interesting if that's the case, because then Sanji is having a warm-up fight against Nesjiro. And it's really impressive that he's able to do the kick to both his sword and to his chin. Because so far he's been one of the more impressive of the 5 elders. Some saying that he's probably the second strongest, or probably just close to the strongest. I don't know, it really depends on how you think the power ranking of the 5 elders is going to be played here. But yeah, I do like how he's going like pirates fight dirt. Pirates don't hold back just because you're an old man and all that. But I do like how Nesjiro, even though he's been kicked, is still willing to fight back and counter as he turns into his horse form, even if only just briefly. But but I do like how he's just like using it to bite Sanji, and it's like, ooh, like around the stomach. Granted, I think some people are like, oh, Sanji's gone 1 step forward, 1 step back. But I think it's fine with this kind of attack. You want the 5 elders to counter like attacks that they're being dealt with to show how much of a threat they are. And I still think it's pretty impressive that Sanji was able to kick someone with such as tremendous speed as Nesjiro. And his swordplay. So I thought that was kind of impressive. But anyway, I do like that you got Omi and Kashi trying to help out, even if only just in a support role. And I think the biggest surprise here was Bonnie turning into a giant, arguably, probably now that she's seen a bit more of Luffy, her creativity is going up, and she's going with a giant attack. So in some ways, she really is like the mini Luffy, and it's like in many ways she would be perfect as an apprentice for Luffy and the crew, sort of like the cabin girl. Which I think at this point Bonnie is going to become a Straw Hat. I could be wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it's looking very, very likely. No, I don't expect her to land a hit on this Elder. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just brushes off Omi and Kashi and then starts attacking both Barney and Sanji. Now, I do like how you got Atlas also, let's see, grabbing Stella's body and all that stuff. I think at this point, let's see, in a chapter or two, she's going to like realize that Vegapunk's dead. Vegapunk is actually dead, and then and I'm not sure she's aware of Stella's message for the world thing. But if she is, I bet she's going to tell the Straw Hats, this is what Vegapunk's doing. We need to let the message play out through, which may force the Straw Hats to stay there just a little bit longer, just to make sure that the message that Vegapunk has left for the entire world is played out properly. But yeah. But I do like how Vegapunk is just going straight to the point, saying that particularly going like he has committed 2 sins, and as a result, he is going to be either captured or executed. And if you're listening to this message, that has likely happened as his heart is no longer beating. Now, granted, I think there's a lot of debate on what people think that he's talking about 2 grave sins. Some might think it's like what he's done. One of them might have been what he did to Kuma. Others think it's like maybe betraying like the world government, like looking into the void century, or maybe a mix of both. Either way, he's going to talk about these sins, and people are listening. And you only see the people listening because it's like, wait, this video is being played? Does that mean he's dead? No, this can't be true. You get that kind of reaction with like, but I do like how it's Sabaody and you've got like Dover going like, wait, wasn't he a hostage by the Straw Hats? Which makes me leave to some that are going to probably initially going to think, wait, did Luffy kill him? Did Luffy kill Vegapunk? Which I'm curious to see how many of Luffy's friends and allies throughout the One Piece world are going to react to the possibility of Luffy killing the most beloved scientist around the world. But yeah. But anyway, I think the most funniest panel for me is pretty much about this is like the ones with Caesar and Big News Morgans. Caesar, I'd like going Caesar Clown. I like with the fact that he's upset. It's like, finally, we created Neomad, you and me, Judge, and we're going to take down Vegapunk. We're going to surpass him, only to learn that he is dead. It's like, no, what do we do now? You can't be dead. We need to beat you, kind of situation. So, yeah, they're in that kind of situation. But granted, if I think Vegapunk reveals bits about the Void Century and the Advanced Kingdom, this might get them to continue working together to like think of like saying, okay, if we can recreate this technology from the Ancient Kingdom better than Vegapunk can, in a sense, we would have surpassed him. So who knows? I expect Caesar and Judge to continue to team up, as I think they probably hate Vegapunk more and all that stuff than each other, and also the fact that with like probably the truths that Vegapunks are going to reveal, and there's other Vegapunks out there at the moment, like York and Lilith, they might still try to at least surpass those two. But yeah, as in a sense, to surpass Vegapunk in one sense or the another. But anyway, I do like how Big News Morgan is going like, you can't just go tell the whole world about the story. It's going to make my print. It's how he's going to sell his printers, or like how he's going to sell his papers, if you will, or like depending on the translation, saying like this will be the death of papers. But yeah, which to be fair, in some cases, the rise of social media and video news and all that has sort of dwindled like papers over the years. You can see that. I can definitely see that in the UK with the tabloid press, though. Despite that, you still, of course, have the tabloid press to this day. It might not be as big as it was in terms of news coverage thing, but it's still something that people collect and read, at least very well, for the crossword puzzles and other sort of like adverts you find in the papers. But yeah, but arguably, I don't think Big News Morgan needs to panic, but he definitely needs to probably build up his media empire and do more investments in this video transponder style things, because it's like you'd see, you gotta probably like write a lot of news about this very quickly because it's like Vegapunk's beat you to it this time. Oh, give me a sec. Sorry about that. I'm back. So I just needed to get something quickly. But yeah, but I do like how Vegapunk goes about how whoever might have killed me, I'm not going to lay judgment on them because he's not. Let's see, because he doesn't know if their intent was evil or not, which might be pretty much because he pretty much he will not apply labels to good and evil. In fact, because he understands little about them to begin about this person who's killed him to begin with, showing that Vegapunk, at the very least, he has no idea who's going to kill them, so he's not going to let whoever kills him in the end. He's not going to let people in the world blame that person for killing him, which might be a way that saves the Straw Hat's hides, or at least in terms of the Straw Hat's witty reputation a bit, because people are probably going to think, "Oh my God, the Straw Hats killed Vegapunk," but it's like, wait. Did they actually kill Vegapunk? Why would they kill Vegapunk? Is he evil or not? But it might also be a way for like let's see, to help Kizaru process like his grief of like the death of him just killing his like friend, because in many ways it might be more of a hint that Vegapunk, I mean Kizaru, after killing Vegapunk and regretting it and then hearing all this truth thing, is like feels like he's done something wrong and is now going to try and do something right by either helping the Straw Hats or remaining Vegapunks, or at least Barney escape or something. We don't really know. But arguably, we're going to see something with, like, I think we're definitely going to see something with Kizaru at the end of this arc, where he tries make amends for what he did to Vegapunk at the very least. We don't know what it is yet, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, anyway, probably got a bit ahead of myself in like some of the bits of the Fitzy cover thing. We actually got as Vegapunk is talking about how he's not going to label people whoever killed him as good and evil, as he doesn't understand who that person is. You have Saturn climbing up and getting angry, telling everyone to move. Well, the Straw Hat's telling him to go out of the way. But you got Saturn just angry, like saying, Vegapunk, not really trying to pay too much attention to the Straw Hats, but well, at least telling them to move, as he doesn't have the time to deal with the likes of them. Robin recognizes the voice as like I'm saying about how the conversation that they had with Clover about his theory. As we see Saturn look directly at Nico Robin and saying, Nico Robin, the woman who Akainu let slip between his fingers, saying the man is soft, with Robin being shocked that this is the five elders. Nami realizes, wait, what? Realizing that this is someone that's that high authority world government that's probably going to try and attack Robin. As you get Saturn trying to attack the spider legs, Nami shouts, protect Robin. You see Chopper and the others start to get really defensive as we see Brock cut off one of Saturn's legs, Usopp firing one of his shots at it, Nami grabbing Robin while also having Zeus attack one of the legs, and Chopper using his guard point as they're all doing this. Saturn's just trying to shout, he's saying, "Be gone, you miserable miserable worms." As the Straw Hats are saying, "We'll do whatever it takes to protect Robin, if you will." Anyway, and then we cut to like back to Marcus Mars flying about, hearing a bit more about Vegapunk's message, saying, "What I'm about to tell you is so preposterous, you might even burst into laughter." With Marcus Mars saying, "It's no use. There are too many transponder snails in the lab, and it seems there's no unique signals." With York thinking like, think York, think, or you won't be able to be a celestial dragon. And her going like, "I'm a Vegapunk too. Where would I hide it?" But then we cut back to like the Stella and the message saying, "However, you will have the right to know. With a Marcus Mars questioning, like, what happens if we destroy the power plant? Saturn says, like, we can't really afford the loss of all the ships and the sailors surrounding the island. And Top Man Loki saying, but no one will be able to create the Mother Flame anymore. And Vegapunk just says, to make a long story short, the world as we know it, it will sink into the sea as we get a double-page spread of like the ocean surrounding the marine ships at Egghead Island. The Marines are going like, huh? As the final panel, we see mermaids swimming under the sea, ending the chapter. Okay, now at the final bit of this chapter, I'm just going to give my thoughts on this part here. It's Saturn who has probably been getting angrier and angrier with Vegapunk. The more he finds out what he's been doing, is going like, it's just something like full of rage. It's like Vegapunk, and he's just trying to hurry up to like arguably probably trying to help assist Marcus Mars as you got like and he's just like so annoyed. He doesn't really want tells the Straw Hats to move out of his way. He doesn't really have time to deal with them. Now, granted, he seems to get he seems to draw their attention to him a bit when he sees Nico Robin, and I do like how Nico Robin realizes that oh my god, it's one of the 5 elders. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched the episode or read the chapter, but it's like and it's one of the voices that she definitely recognizes. So it's like this is like one of her oldest enemies, and she's like, this is this person right in front of them. But it's interesting to learn that the 5 elders blame Akainu for letting Robin get away. Granted, I guess it goes to show they did not realize just how much Aokiji ended up disappearing. But I wouldn't be surprised if let's see, Akainu, if Akainu ever encounters the Straw Hats besides Luffy, and particularly Nico Robin, talks about how he made one mistake of letting Nico Robin slip through his fingers, and he's going to make sure that she won't get away this time. Which I am kind of curious to see what kind of conversation you have with Nico Robin and Akainu, and maybe even the other Straw Hats. Granted, I think it'd be more prioritizing Luffy and just saying that you just telling the others to get out of his way, or like you lot die for your captain's sins or something. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, that would be interesting to see that kind of conversation. I'm a bit curious to see if we get more conversation with Robin and the rest of the 5 elders later. But I do like how when Nami realizes, okay, this is one of the enemies of Robin with one of the world government with the 5 elders. Instead of running away and cowering, she realizes that he's unlikely to target Robin, and just ends up telling her to do so, telling everyone to do so no matter what it takes, and even is able to drag her out of the cartwheel before it's destroyed. And I do like at the very least, the rest of the remaining Straw Hats have gotten something to do action-wise this arc with even if it's just a brief fight against Saturn with Brock cutting off one of his legs. That is an impressive feat. I always think Brock is one of the strongest. Is a stronger Straw Hat than people give him credit for. So that was nice. I don't know how much Usopp's explosion did. It could be blow up one of the legs. If so, that's impressive. I do like how Nami's able to have Zeus knock one of the legs to the side. And I do like that we've finally gotten to see Chopper with his guard points as well, because I think Chopper has been grossly underused in terms of action in the time skip with One Piece. And it's nice to see the guard point here, and it's pretty impressive. He seems to block it, given the fact that those legs seem to have poison. So that is quite, funny. So I think that's quite cool to see at the very least. But yeah. But I do like how Marcus Mars is just trying to think. Sorry, I'm just perhaps talking too fast that I'm starting to lose my voice. There we go, better. But Marcus Mars is getting more and more desperate, saying like can't figure out which the snails to use, and thinking maybe we should destroy the power plant. But I do like how the other elders saying that. Well, granted, this bit is surprising me is like when Saturn says they can't afford to lose all those ships and sailors surrounding it, because earlier in the arc he's talking about how insects can be replaced. But I guess he's just thinking, okay, we need to keep some of these resources alive. At the very least, the ships at the very least, and maybe also the pacifistas and the other stuff that they can take from Egghead regardless. But yeah. And also the fact that they need York and Punk Records to survive, just so they can, and also the lab to survive, because they need to get the Mother Flame, and they need to take it because that Emu wants that Mother Flame firsthand. So it's like probably, even if that means having some of the truth, whatever Vegapunk reveals to the world, let's see, told to the public, they need to have some for. The Mother Flame is a more of a bigger priority because maybe the Mother Flame can help deal with the consequences of it at the very least. But yeah. I even do like how York is trying to think like, okay, let's see, I might not become a Celestial Dragon if Vegapunk reveals too much, which is going to show just how much that she really wants to be one. And but then it'll be just desserts for her is that she betrays Vegapunk. Also, she can become a Celestial Dragon, only for that not to happen, and instead, instead, because of like Vegapunk's information, she gets punished and can't become one. Instead, might be forced to work some science jobs and all that. But yeah, but either way, I do like how she's trying to think of like a Vegapunk. Okay, how to do it, and we'll see whether or not she has the idea that the fandom has of Vegapunk hiding it inside the giant metal robot, or to dragging, if you will. But yeah. But anyway, I think the biggest thing that Vegapunk is trying to say, and he even aware that it might sound a bit preposterous, that you might even laugh, but he pretty much says that the world will sink to the sea, and this is like gets Marines going like, what? As they probably can't believe it, and we see like, of course, mermaids, because it's like wait, the whole world is sinking, but in many ways, this revelation seems to make sense with what many people have been theorizing, particularly Mr. Moji with this video talking about how One Piece was all this once big continent, and it might have been called the One Piece itself, or one big continent like Pangea was, like millions of years ago. But yeah, like Etsy revealing that that theory of like the ocean is sinking, and most of the islands were once all one big big land before the rise of the oceans, making them all like sort of islands. So that theory is coming along, and it seems like that one is actually true. And in many ways, it's kind of like we get and it seems to like parallel with like what's going on with like what's going to happen at the end of One Piece is going to be very similar to like Skypiea with how Enno was planning to destroy the entire world, or at least all the islands up in Skypiea, and then go to the moon. And this time, you're going to have arguably Emu trying to sink the entire world as his crew, as the Celestial Dragons rule, like the Red Line and all that. But yeah, arguably it's all that. And I do like how the mermaids there hinting that perhaps the mermaids, of course, will likely, and the fishermen will likely survive, but they also play a role in perhaps saving everyone down the line, which Mr. Moji has also put in one of his other videos about how the rest of the world will deal with like the sinking while Luffy tries to take down Emu to reverse the effects. But yeah, either way, it is a very good cliffhanger to like a chapter, and arguably Retzi draws a lot of attention to some theories that people have been having, and now seems to confirm it with like all the stuff that's been built up, like with the Noah, Ritzy Poseidon, the parallels to Skypiea and Dressrosa. So there's the stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I think it's a very good chapter, like 8 or 9 out of 10. We see Vegapunk's brain, and it's a bit different than I expected, but I think that it's better this way. The question, Marcus Mars questioning like if he's like alive or dead or not. Seeing Usopp's village, Crocus, let's see, where Frankie went to train, where Chopper went to train, and the Blackbeard pirates reacting. And Vegapunk tricking the 5 elders with a decoy, and the 5 elders reacting negatively. Sanji versus Nesjuro with doing like a kick. The only minor complaint being like I think some of the translations of the words, but I could be wrong on that part, but who knows. But yeah, and even Nesjuro still is able to pick a fight even after being kicked, and then Bonnie seemingly coming into the fight, so it's like a Sanji, Bonnie, Omi, and Kashi versus Nesjuro. Granted, that fight might probably not last long, really. let's see, seeing people react to like Vegapunk being dead, particularly Dovo, Chabiota, Peloko, Caesar, and Big News Morgans, with the later two being upset because they either can't now try and surpass him, or like right, this video means that my newspaper business might be dead. The remaining Straw Hats trying to defend Nico Robin from Saint Saturn, and the revelation that the world is going to sink, giving us an idea of apocalyptic type of war in One Piece, where you have the Straw Hats fighting on the Red Line against the Celestial Dragons, while the rest of the world sinks. In many ways, giving a sort of similar Rumble vibe from Attack on Titan, if you will. But yeah, overall, very good chapter. And I hope people enjoyed what I had to say for this review. And I guess thank you, Exotic Potato, for at least missed comment and maybe listening in, even if only partially. And let's see. And hopefully this will be the last time I review this chapter and I can move on to the next one, as I'm a lot more satisfied with what I had to say. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for listening, everyone, and goodbye.